formed back in the spring of 1984, edging closer to the Third World War, a pioneer of the mid-80s underground Philippine punk rock scene who played gigs at the legendary Katrina's Pub and Rock Cola in Malate, Manila. They recorded the first compilation and solo album on the Twisted Red Cross, the Philippines' first ever underground independent record label, gained international recognition from Maximum Rock and Roll in the early 1990s and established a reputation in the global punk rock community by releasing collaborative compilation vinyl albums in Europe, Germany, Portugal, etc., including Asia and America, respectively throughout the mid-80s and in the 90s. Life at the Twisted Red Cross and the beginning of RMD Records and production. Yes, the Philippine Violators are the violation of the Philippines, and they will violate the world. That was a bit more metal than punk, but even just a little bit of more information. Although Twisted Red Cross died in 1989, Philippine Violators are like, yo, we want to make some more music, so they made Rare Music Distributor, and the rest of that information will be in another video. But let's get to At Large, the 87 album, the first album by the Philippine Violators. Before I get into the review of the actual lyrical content and just the theme of this band, the theme of this album, what it sounds like, and all of that good stuff, I wanted to compare the vinyl record reissue to the cassette tape reissue that I have. And I do want you all to know, this is not a bootleg. This is not a bootleg. This was made, as I just showed you, by Delusion of Terror, Authentic and Legit, Love from Hate, Middle Finger Records, Right Then Recto Manila, I can't pronounce that, Sonotaris, something like that, and Still Ill. So, neither of these are bootlegs, and they don't even look like bootlegs. Would a bootleg go all this way, all out on it? It looks fucking incredible. And the lyrics are right there to all the songs, and on the back is the story of the Philippine Violators, which, for this video, I'm reviewing Philippine Violators at large. I'm not giving the band's entire story. As for another video, here's the cassette tape. This was not a bootleg either. World Gone Mad, and I actually looked it up. This is an official reissue, given a thumbs up by the band. Now, the reason I bring that up is because there's a lot of bootlegs in the Philippines. There's a lot of bootlegs in general, and if you go on Discogs, you can see a lot of releases are unofficial, but this release and this release are both official, both approved by the band. I don't like buying bootlegs. I mean, sometimes you have to, but who the fuck needs society anyway? Maybe you, but not me. The cassette tape reissue, it pays some tributes to Twisted Red Cross, as you can see right there. It's got the original Twisted Red Cross design in there. You got the tracks from the cassette up at the top there. All the order of the tracks match the order of the original, the band, and the composed by, all that information, produced and written in the Philippines. So you have all of that like it is in the original cassette tape. Then you have the special tanks over here, and you have World Gone Mad Records. Now, one thing I like about this cassette tape reissue is, check it out here. Now, this is different from the original cassette. This right here is the same as the original artwork and all that. But you turn it around, World Gone Mad logo right there, and then down here you see a World Gone Mad logo in the original Twisted Red Cross black flag, but instead of there being a Twisted Red Cross there, it's a World Gone Mad logo. That's pretty fucking sick. It's still paying tributes and respects to the original creation, but it's obviously saying, hey, this isn't a bootleg, this is who made this, check us out. And you know what? That's awesome. World Gone Mad did a damn good job when creating this reissue, and I'm really honored to own a piece of this. And on the side of the cassette tape here, you can see a bunch of pictures of the band playing live, just a collage of those live show images and some studio sessions. There's so much to look at on this tiny little piece of card. There's so much going on this. It's amazing. You know, a lot of people talk shit on cassette tapes, but you can do so much with them. The lyrics to all the songs on this album are printed on it. Yes, the print is rather small, so if you have a hard time reading, you might need glasses or whatnot, but it's still, World Gone Mad did a damn good job putting this cassette tape reissue together. And I gotta thank them for that, because, you know, they're paying respects to a really good hardcore band from the Philippines that made a huge impact in a scene in Southeast Asia. You gotta give them shout out some love. And here's the cassette tape itself, which I've never owned and I've never seen in person an original Philippine Violator at-large cassette tape, but from what I have seen on the internet, this closely resembles it because it was a solid color. Now, you will have seen my Dead End Second Coming reissue is transparent. Well, this here pays damn good tribute to the original because it stays the solid color with the black and white going like that. It's got the record label logo over here. A, World Gone Mad. B, World Gone Mad. I believe the Twisted Red Cross original looked just like that, only instead of World Gone Mad, obviously it's the Twisted Red Cross and it was red and black. I believe. So, this cassette pays tribute to the original. Just makes it nice and simple like the original was. Now, for the vinyl record, since I want to comment on that before we get into the tracks. On the front, we have the band similar to on the cassette tape. Got the band right there. Phil Violators at large in big bold red letters. Fucking perfect. What else could you want? On the back of it, we have What Have You Got? We have a lot of stuff going on here. There's the Tracklist, My Generation, down to Leave Me Alone. Got some images of the band, similar to on the cassette tape. But now it's a little easier to see it all because it's on a vinyl record. It's a lot more blown up and it's a little bit higher quality. And on the lyric sheet here, it's a little easier to read the lyrics on the vinyl record insert. Obviously, because it's a vinyl record, it's a lot bigger, and you don't have to use such small font, which is why I do prefer the vinyl reissue of this, and it pays damn good respects and tributes to the Philippine Violators. You can see pictures of the band fucking around in the studio and playing live on top, and kind of cascaded throughout the lyric sheet. It's all over the place. You got some just lyrics in the background behind the main lyrics themselves, so just punk rock as fuck right there, and it continues on to the front with the story of the band, and there is a lot to read here. If you want the entire Phil Vio story, it's all there. And even more so, right here you have the Phil Vio family tree. From 1984, when the band started out, to 2011, and they're still playing today. But that's when this was, you know, through there. Phil Vio, 1984 and 2011. Charlie Bong, Espiritu vocals. Jesus Rotten, Espiritu guitars. Seymour, Estabilo bass. Noel Benares drums. 86, 89, 91. The different years in which the lineup had changed, all the way up to today, and what they're currently doing. So that's pretty fucking cool right there. So one thing I love about vinyl records is, especially, you know, back in the day when you get a record like this and you didn't have the internet, if you want to know about the band, well, the insert's your best friend, because the insert usually has the story of the band, where they're from, their contact information, the lineup, about the members, and the lyrics. That's why nothing beats vinyl records. Yes, cassettes usually do the same a bit of justice, but you can just do more with the record. And look how beautiful this vinyl record is. It's yellow and black, burning hot splatter. I mean, look at that shit. Look at that. It's beautiful. They got this at Middle Finger and Recto Manila. Shout out to them. And if you look closely, you can see behind the Philippine Violators, behind their logo there, you can see pictures of the band. There's pictures of the band on the back, all over the place, collaged, on the front, on the lyric sheet, on the story sheet, and even on the record itself. The Philippine Violators have fucking violated the entire record. And you got the front cover of the album on the album itself. So what is cooler than that? Now, let's get into the juice. Let's get into the track list. So, my friends, if you came into this review after listening to perhaps the Urban Bandits or George Imbecile and Idiots, or any of the other Twisted Red Cross hardcore punk bands, then you've probably already got a good taste of what you're about to get into. But let me tell you, after listening to the Philippine Violators, I have been fucking violated. They violate. Oh god, they violate. They violate so hard that my poor record player over there, not the one on top, but the bottom one, it's dead. It's dead. They play so hard they killed my record player. I'm not fucking joking either. Watch this shit. It no longer works. See? It's on. Thank you guys. You fucking killed my record player. Oh man. I've had that for so many fucking years. Oh well. Hey, you know what? That's hardcore too. I've never had a record kill my record player. See, I talked about Pagan Fire before, and every time you talk about, oh my this Tracklist is deadly. These guys are just raw, furious into the fucking point. There's really no way to put it better than that. From the first song, which is called My Generation, and it's pretty much a take on the Who song called Generation. Just about older generations fucking with the younger generations, and, you know, that's something that almost every generation has to do with. Elder generations complaining about the new generations. It's just a generational thing. Written by Jesus. The next song is about school violence. This song, I actually really enjoy this song. Glory, glory to the burning of the school. We'll be kicking all the teachers. We will violate the world. We will hang the principal on Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, they use glory, glory to the flag in this. And they fucking do it excellently. That first verse right there teaches you all you need to know about that song. Just go play that real quickly and come back and watch the rest of this. The next song is Can't Stand Being Exploited. The song is about being used. Specifically, the song is about how his family is being used by another neighbor and how he's getting fucking sick of it and how his mother is too fucking stupid to stand up and say, fuck you, bitch, stop taking advantage of me. A lot of people get exploited, a lot of people get used all the time, and it's such a sad thing that some people will take advantage of somebody's kindness and exploit it to the max, involving hurting that person and the family. And in this song, the Philippine Violators go into depth about how it's hurting them, how it's killing the family, how it's just drawing them to the fucking limit. And I really hate... It hurts to even hear this in a song because, you know, we can all relate to being exploited and used by somebody. And this song right here is kind of the turning point of this album because, you know, the first song is just about elder generations picking on you and whatnot and how people aren't understanding a generation. This song is about school violence and, you know, school days revolution. At this point, the album is going to take a more deeper and emotional stance. I'll just put it that way. Freedom. Well, that song was just about anarchy, and we'll do the things we never dreamed. We will build a fire in front of you, we'll burn your houses too. We'll make that noise that you've never heard before. This song is about freedom and anarchy. So I said, we're getting there. Philippine Violators, they violate. Dead Chickens, from what I understand, is either about... So I lived in the Philippines for about a year, as I've been saying. And while I was there, I noticed a lot of people had pet chickens. They had them on leashes. And this song is either about people killing chickens in order to use them for food, or it's about cockfighting, because a lot of that happens in the Philippines. Tired of life. This song is about suicide. I don't want to go to school, learn to read and write. I just want to stay home because I'm sick and tired of life. I'm bored to death. And I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll just kill myself or just leave it up to you. Yeah, it's really depressing, very sad. But it's also a reflection of the times back then and even of today. You know, I love the Philippines. It's my second home, but so many people are suffering there. And so many people, young and old, bear this exact feeling. They are tired of life. They're tired of suffering. They're tired of scraping their ass for 12 hours a day just to barely make enough money to feed their families. You know, what's the fucking point of going to school? What's the fucking point of going to work? What's the point of learning anything when even after you have learned it, you still don't get anywhere because life is just so unfair? So I get that song, and I actually really relate to a shitload of the songs on this album. That's why I've been listening to it so much lately. Stupid Faith, They say it's holy and full of glory, a place where God reside, but it's just a mountain like other mountains with grass and rocks inside. Stupid face, stupid face. Song's just about religion and how it's a fucking scam, as it really is. Children sick. Walking down the street looking for a fight, and I saw a blue bottle. Give it right then, I was busted, locked up without charges. Slept in a cell all night, got out in the morning. They say, hey look, children are sick. Mother, hey look, children are sick. Went home hungry looking for food. Can't find nothing, that's very good. Went out for lunch, busted a few groceries, got away with it. What a wonderful lunch. Living without reasons, living without cause. What the fuck am I living for in this damn fucking world? My mother is a... Yeah. That song, just to sum it up, there's a lot of people, and when I lived in the Philippines, there was a lot of kids who I saw try to jack food from local vendors because they were just hungry. When you're starving and when you are in that moment of desperation, what the fuck else are you expected to do? I understand stealing is wrong, and I understand committing crime, is wrong, but think about it. Pretend you're like 14 or 15 years old, or even a little older, a little younger. Your mother and your father just aren't there, or whatever, your father's a bum, something like that. You have rotten parents, or maybe they're just dirt poor and they can't get a job, they can't get none. Your family is suffering. What are you going to do? Obviously, you're going to try to steal the food, and obviously, you might get caught, you might get locked up, and it's just a bad situation that shouldn't exist in the first place. It really hurts and breaks me. Okay, I'm going to tell a story. So I lived in Tanza Cavite, and one night I was walking to Jollibee, right? I was walking to Jollibee, I went there, and I came back, and I had my food with me, and I shit you not, there was this group of small children, they had to be 6 or 7 years old. They walked up to me, hey Joe, you'll spare some change? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give you some change. The moment I went for my wallet, suddenly...
Money. Hey, money. Money. Oh, money. Yeah, money.
Hold on. Okay.
Do you have the money?
Not on me.
Money.
At least fucking 10 or 12 of them showed up behind me. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on here? Because I was like, oh god. At first I thought it was a gang, but no, they were all children. These little children. I managed to, in that situation, just talk to them and try to fuck around with them a little bit. Because, I couldn't run. There's no way in hell I was going to run, because what if one of them had a gun on them? There was a nightclub right up the street. And I managed to talk to them, and I was just talking about random shit. I was just trying to come up with any conversation that I could. But I managed to get up the street, and then I just ran to the fucking nightclub, and I told the guard, and the guard saw the kids, he pulled his gun out and shot his gun at the sky, and they fucking took off. Which I then got lectured about being outside 2 o'clock in the morning. But hey, I was hungry, I wanted to go to Jollibee. But I asked the guard while I was there, what the hell was that about? And he told me that a lot of the kids around there are abandoned by their parents, and some will resort to robbery, some will resort to violent crime in order to steal and get money just to get food. That is fucking sad. That is sad that little kids that age, even, it's sad that anyone has to do that, but the fact that I was almost jumped by a little gang, like a gang of 10 or 12 of little kids, that's heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking that some children have to go through that. Wonderful World of Trash. I'm wondering if this is a reference or a tribute to George Emerson Idiot's Fascinating World of Garbage, but they do make a reference to it's a small world after all. We don't care if it rise or fall. We'll just live our lives of joy, cause it's a small toy. They make a reference to that song, which this song actually puts a smile on my face. After all of the depressing stuff that you hear before it, this song, although it's a negative song, welcome to the wonderful world of trash where nobody eats and nobody takes a bath. No one ever sleeps and no one wants to listen. No one ever speaks. It's fun. Where no one really works and no one gives a damn. No one reads his books. We won't wash our hands. It's a really sad and depressing song, but it makes you kind of smile, but in just I don't know, in a cracked up way, because I smiled because they were making a Disney reference. That's the only reason I smiled. The song was really no fucking reason to smile, but it kind of made me chuckle that they make a fucking Disney reference in this. You'll listen to it. It's really sad. Like I told you, this, from Can't Stand Being Exploited, the album is just going to go downhill in terms of just the topics. Cruelty Even After Death. Cruelty After Death. That song was about police brutality and how ruthless and merciless the police are in their uniforms. They get their uniforms on and they think they're gods. They go out, they plunder, they rape, they brutalize, they shoot people in the heads, they set people up, they accuse people, arrest people indefinitely. They try to bribe the poorest. The poor say, hey, you want out of here, give me your money, or hey, bitch, you look sexy, let me fuck you and maybe I'll let you go. Police abusing their power, tearing families apart, shooting people, and it didn't just happen back in the 80s, it's happening today with Duterte and his drug war, his merciless, just slaughtering entire families and falsely accusing people of doing drugs, falsely accusing this, falsely accusing that. Cruelty After Death is about police brutality and just how ruthless and merciless the police can be, and for that matter, even the military. And definitely not just the Philippines. Oh no, this song can be related to the police forces all over the world. This song, to my taste, it's a bit on the lighter end of life.
Lock up in my room, don't know what to do. Get the fucking shit, have a test tomorrow.
This song is complaints about having a test and wanting to pass the test, but not wanting to do the studying and the work required to pass the test. We've all been there. We have all been in that position. Like, oh, I want to get a good grade. I want to pass the fucking test, but shit. Fuck studying this stupid book. Fuck that. Ha! Who wants to study? Typical teenage mentality in high school. We all have been there. Which, I like the instrumental of the song. Yeah, it's called a different instrumental. It's not just straight up hardcore throughout it. Locked up in my room. It's pretty good there. Who needs society? I quoted this earlier. Look at me and look at you. I am real, but you're not true. We're down here, but you're up there. But so what? I don't care. Who the hell needs society? You can eat it away. Who the fuck needs society is quoted on the insert of the cassette tape, which is right there. It's fucking awesome. However, it is not included on either the cover, the back, or the insert of the vinyl like that. It would have been pretty cool to have like an extra poster with perhaps the Philippine Violators themselves and their logo and at large or some shit, and who the fuck needs society? Maybe you, but not me. Some pretty badass Phil Vio poster with that on there in big bold letters like they have at large, but you know what? There's a feature idea for a feature reissue. Do that right there, but on that. Now that would be fucking awesome. That song is potentially one of the Philippine Violators' best songs of all time. It is one of the most referenced songs. It is one of the biggest songs they've ever made, other than My Generation. And lastly, Leave Me Alone. I don't care what you say. Why don't you just go away? You don't know what's happening. Why you keep on bugging me? And I don't care what you say. Why don't you just go away? This song is literally just about leaving someone alone. It's a way to end the album. It's just to say, fuck off, leave me alone. That's pretty much it about that. Now, there is a song on this album that is not on the lyric sheet. The Philippine Violators do a fucking amazing cover of Yesterday by the Beatles. It is not on here, and that's for obvious reasons. Everybody knows the fucking lyrics of Yesterday by the Beatles. If you don't, what kind of rock you been living under? Oh, we just can't forget about St. Vicious, traditional Christmas song adopted into punk rock. This is The Night Before Christmas, but Philippine Violated. It was the night before, when everyone was drunk. Not a rocker was stirring, not even a punk. The buggers would hang by the phono with care in hopes that St. Vicious, yes, Sid, would be there. The band was sold out, so we stayed in our sheds while visions of slam still danced on our heads. God damn it. That's too good. I've heard so many punk rock Christmas songs in my life, but this one here, this one's the best. Philippine Violators damn violated Christmas, and they violated it good. Yeah, that's the Philippine Violators. I've been wanting to review this album for a very long time now, and I finally listened to it enough, and I understand it to an extent. And usually I ask the bands themselves the stories behind the songs, but you know, this one here, I just kind of wanted to give it my own take on it instead of, you know, interviewing the band, which I'll interview them at some point, but I wanted to give my own take on it because That's makes the review more spicier when you look at it yourself. I wonder what this means, and try to relate it to yourself instead of just getting the story. I will get their story, and there will be an interview with the Philippine Violators, but just to sum it up, the Philippine Violators at large are just a classic hardcore punk album from my generation, talking about, you know what, fuck you. This is my generation, don't tell me what to do, fuck you, man. Hanging your teacher, hanging your damn principal on Tuesday afternoon, cockfights, I'm sick of life, it's so depressing. I want to pass the damn test, but fuck studying, I just don't want to do it. This is a classic, this album is a teenage anthem of youthful rebellion. That is the best way to put it. It's speedy hardcore, every single song just... It never slows down. Technically, the Christmas adoption is a bit slow at times, because it has a different bit of a guitar pace, as well as Tomorrow Test. Those two have a bit of a different guitar pace, but it goes a little slow, and then it goes fast with the drums. This is a non-stop hardcore blast of furious raw punk rock emotion straight from the Philippines, and a time in the country's bleeding history. And goddamn, the Philippine Violators did it excellently. Jesus Espiritu, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, is a fucking amazing writer. He just knows how to put the pen to the paper and just start a fire from that shit, and the rest of the band just lights rock and rolls. To everyone else who's ever been in the Philippine Violators, I salute you, and I hope I get to see them live at some point, because I often see June Ortega and Arnold Morales and all the other Philippine punks and friends on Facebook. They're always posting shows that a lot of the punk bands in the Philippines are playing at, and occasionally I see Philippine Violators on there, so I hope that one day when I return to the Philippines that I get to see them live, because goddamn, even though I missed seeing them in the 80s, which I wasn't even alive then, but even though I missed seeing them in the 80s, I just know seeing them live today would be a furious, just rock and roll fest. This is a solid fucking album. And if you're ever in the Philippines, go to Middle Finger Records, or go to Mutilated Noise, or go to Discogs, or somewhere, pick yourself up a vinyl reissue of Philippine Violators at Large, or a cassette tape reissue of the same album. This will probably be cheaper and a lot easier to get, because it's by World Gone Mad. I got this on Discogs for literally $5, so yeah, this is a lot easier to get. And like I said, the cassette tape has everything that the vinyl has. It's just smaller, obviously, because it's a cassette. You've got all the lyrics to all the songs. Who the fuck needs a Friday? Baby, you but not me. You've got the band's logo on there. You've got pictures of the band. You got the track list. You got the band, who they are. You have the origins of the cassette tape. You have the special tanks. You have the World Gone Mad logo. You've got the original artwork, just with some modifications to show that this is from World Gone Mad and not Twisted Red Cross. They pay tributes to the original record label. They show you pictures of the band. They show you every fucking thing on the cassette and on the vinyl reissue. They both show you everything you need to know about this release, about this band, about the track list, and they're both in super high quality. Yes, the cassette tape and the vinyl record, which I've put back in here, they are both in super fucking high quality. So this is not something you're going to waste your money on. I love it. You'll love it. Go buy it. I'm Anarka Akaza. Thanks for watching my review of the Philippine Violators at Large. Take care. Dos Vidania.